Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, there's a new scheme to attract more tourists back to Tasmania. A new round of travel vouchers will be up for grabs for interstate visitors, as the Premier provides a sneak preview at what will be included in our border reopening plan.
Another round of travel vouchers, this time for those a little further away from home.
$3 million worth of tourism and holiday vouchers for people that want to come to Tasmania from interstate in the months of November and December.
10,000 vouchers up for grabs for Queenslanders, South Australians and Western Australians.
We're going to those bigger markets that have got the direct flights to really get people moving.
Tourism businesses have a week to sign on for the scheme, with the ballot opening at the end of the month.
Might just be that extra little factor to get them over the line and see some more people circulating Tasmania over the next 2 months.
Queenslanders already sizing them up as Virgin unveils a new direct flight between Launceston and the Gold Coast.
The wineries, the fact that I get to see where my sister's living now, and I haven't been able to see her for a couple of months.
Said to give businesses a temporary boost.
To ensure that we do start getting them built up for when our borders do reopen to those other jurisdictions.
A reopening plan for our borders will be announced next week. The Premier has today revealed he expects those who want to travel to Tasmania will need to be fully vaccinated, return a negative COVID test in the 72 hours before they arrive.
Having high vaccination rates is absolutely crucial.
But for now, the government is still feeling confident in their pandemic response.
We have done a tremendous job, touch wood, when it comes to the pandemic in this state.
Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
Long-awaited changes to Tasmania's gaming laws have now been introduced to Parliament. The opposition also unveiled its poker machine policy, but both of the major parties once again face questions over their relationship with the gaming industry.
A feisty start to a new parliamentary sitting week, with a pointed question to the Premier.
How much money and in-kind assistance has been donated to the Tasmanian Liberal Party and Liberal candidates by organisations, companies or individuals associated with the gambling industry?
Receiving an equally pointed response.
Neither I nor my office are there to do your work for you. You know, if you are serious about this and serious about being in this place, then you should do the work.
I suspect the Premier was too ashamed or too embarrassed to tell the Tasmanian public what the answer to that question is.
Long-awaited changes to Tasmania's gaming laws finally tabled in Parliament. The government talking up the reform.
It means more money for essential services such as health and education, certainty and security for jobs in pubs and clubs.
Announcing the Liquor and Gaming Commission will investigate harm minimisation measures for poker machines, facial recognition and smart technology on the table.
To enable a pre-commitment system for users, this would allow for setting limits on gaming losses in advance.
The plan receiving a tepid response.
Is an afterthought. It's not in the legislation.
We can't just trust them at their word to go ahead and do it. We are going to need to see things legislated.
Labor's wish list also calling for cashless gaming cards and the introduction of registered gaming officers.
They're two really targeted approaches that we think can enhance this bill. We will not support this bill unless those amendments are included.
The opposition's relationship with the gaming industry facing heat.
We've got the two major parties here once again rolling over to do their donors' bidding.
But Dean Winter says he doesn't know whether the party received donations from the gaming sector in the recent election.
If they did, it hasn't informed the way that I've dealt with this.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
A Western Australian woman accused of murdering her mother in Tasmania, then fleeing interstate, has begun her Supreme Court trial in Launceston. Natalie Marr has pleaded not guilty to causing the death of Veronica Corstefine in October 2019. The body was found by police at the victim's home weeks later. Today, a jury was selected for the lengthy trial, which could run into next month. Opening submissions will be heard tomorrow. A Claremont resident has been treated for smoke inhalation after escaping a burning home. Firefighters were called to the Camaray Road property around 6:30 last night to find the house fully alight. Residents were home at the time. Investigations were unable to find a cause. The house has been destroyed with a damage bill of $450,000. A driver has made an expensive error while trying to park their car inside their garage. The Newnham resident mistaking the accelerator for the brake, speeding into their home just before 6 o'clock last night. Firefighters were called to the home on Fran Marie Road, removing a damaged garage door and bricks. Thankfully, the driver wasn't injured. Tasmania Police recruits will no longer need to train at Rokeby when a new course launches in Launceston in April. The 31-week program will offer exactly the same training, opening the job to those who can't make the move south.
The recruitment rock of Rokeby will no longer have the monopoly. A satellite program offering the same training over the same time will be offered in Launceston next year.
We do have some anecdotal evidence to suggest that if we changed our recruiting model quite slightly, we could attract more people to the organisation.
Especially those who can't afford to spend more than 6 months away.
So in essence, they can spend more time with their families.
These recent graduates would have jumped at the chance to study closer to home.
I had 3 children who were teenagers at that time, so it was a little bit challenging. It was a tough time in their lives to be away.
There's no great time to uproot your life and be away from your family and friends, but had the opportunity to study and train up here, been about, I would have absolutely taken that.
The program's timing comes as the number of blue uniforms skyrockets. More than 300 extra police officers will be trained over the next 5 years. And once they have their cap in hand, graduates of the new Northern program will return to the region they're from.
It's designed to attract people from the area that want to live and stay in the area.
Meaning they can spend more time on the beat and less beating homesickness. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Some members of the Longford racing community fear their track could cease to exist if a new housing development is given the green light. 44 homes could be built near the racecourse. Some say potential new residents don't know what they're in for living next to a racetrack.
The cleaner was a beacon of Tasmania's racing industry, participating in events at the Longford racetrack, even making it to the Cox Plate.
The cleaner at the school, the leader.
Now a development application to tear down his old stables and make way for 44 new homes has locals concerned.
The more houses that are built around the racetrack, the closed area is not good basically for people that are around the track. It's too close.
I just feel with 44 extra families in the area, the traffic that it's going to create is an ultimate concern.
The racecourse is the oldest continuously used track in the Southern Hemisphere, spanning 175 years. Many fear that once houses are built, residents will complain about the noise and being woken early, which could spell the end of the track.
There are a lot of noise that goes on here early every morning with trucks pulling up and horses kicking the stalls. You've got the lights that come on at 4:30 in the morning. You've got a siren that goes when somebody has a fall.
Opponents say they're not against development, but they want to ensure that any changes will preserve the racetrack for future generations. The date for the proposal hasn't been set yet, but the Northern Midlands Mayor says public opinions will be taken into account, as well as other factors.
We can't just decide on opinions only. It has to be if we refuse it, it has to be relevant under the planning scheme, and if it's in the zoning is correct and the building application ticks all the boxes, we may have no choice but to accept it.
The decision now hanging with Council. Elizabeth O'Neill, 7 Tasmania News.
The Tasmania Jack Jumpers will make their top flight basketball debut at home in a showcase NBL season opener against the Adelaide 36ers. The highly anticipated encounter will be the first major test for the upgraded MyState Bank Arena, but serious questions hang over another venue.
The NBL's shiny new team to tip off a delayed new season in a glossy new stadium.
We thought it was too good an opportunity to pass up.
December 3, MyState Bank Arena will mark the Jack Jumpers' arrival to the top league.
I will be absolutely shocked if it's not a sellout crowd for the first game of the Jack Jumpers.
The opener against the Adelaide 36ers is one of 12 home matches to be played inside the refurbished Glenorchy Stadium, which the league is confident will be finished in time. But there's less certainty around the supposedly subpar Silverdome, which was promised a handful of home games. Instead, the fixtures in the new year read TBC.
The venue does need to be NBL ready and up to the standards, and I think there's a little bit of work to be done.
The state government says it's awaiting suppliers from overseas to begin the upgrades, but is optimistic Launceston will witness NBL action. It could be in the form of another team, with the New Zealand Breakers beginning the pre-season in Tasmania and could stay beyond.
They could be based somewhere else. It may be Tasmania or it may be somewhere else.
52 days until the opening encounter, the league is hoping COVID will not wreak havoc again this season, but is bracing for the real possibility. One thing in their favour, 99% of players are fully vaccinated.
I'm expecting hiccups at every twist and turn, but I'm very confident that we're prepared to deal with them as and when they arise, just as we did last year.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening everyone. Temperatures below average today with Hobart reaching 16 degrees and Launceston, Burnie and Devonport all 15. Strahan saw the state's top today of 19 degrees, Flinders Island, Smithton, Friendly Beaches and Grove all 16, 15 on King Island and 14 in Low Head and St Helens. Extensive cumulus cloud can be seen across most of the state today, as well as waters to the east and south, with high-level cloud to the west. Further out, an active area of cumulus cloud lies over eastern Australia with embedded thunderstorms. A narrow frontal band is seen south of the Bight, with cellular cloud further to the west, indicating cold air. Tomorrow the high can be seen moving well southeast of Tasmania, extending a ridge over the Tasman Sea, while the cold front and associated lows have intensified to the west. East to northeasterly winds tomorrow 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots about the northwest and south during the morning. And there is a strong wind warning current for southern, western and northern coastal waters from Tasman Island to St Helens Point, excluding Banks Strait and Franklin Sound. 18 in Hobart and Geeveston tomorrow, partly cloudy and 16 in Bothwell. Developing showers and 18 in Launceston, Devonport and Cressy are top of 16, both with the chance of showers. Burnie reaching 15 tomorrow, 19 and partly cloudy in Strahan, increasing showers and 16 in Curry. And in the east, 15 in St Helens and Orford and a shower or two and 16 in Swansea. And the UV across the state tomorrow is high, reaching 6. Looking on to Thursday, rain about the north and east, extending statewide during the morning and afternoon. Rain at times on Friday, easing about the northeast during the afternoon. And on Saturday, showers, less frequent about the north, contracting to the west, south and lower east. 17 degrees in Adelaide tomorrow, Melbourne 21, showers in Sydney, Canberra and Brisbane, 33 in Cairns and 34 degrees in Darwin. And currently Hobart, partly cloudy and 13 degrees, 13 also and cloudy in Launceston and partly cloudy and 12 in Devonport. And Kim, that's all for Tuesday night's weather.
And that is all your news for now. Take care and good night.